down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
For years, Britain was a tea-drinking nation, but now coffee has become more popular than tea.
Has it? I didn't realise that. I'm quite happy drinking tea.
Coffee has become more popular. I don't feel it has. Coffee's been going for a lot longer than people anticipate.
Tea's just sort of tea, but you've got all that sort of flat white, splash of this and splash of that and all the lovely toppings you can have on it.
It's a bit trendier, like, because they, you know, like the coffee shops and things, the independent ones, they really, like, they make it quite a cool place to go, whereas there's not really, like, tea cafes.
Yeah, I think there's a culture based around coffee that doesn't really exist with tea.
It seems to be very trendy, doesn't it, these days?
Tea doesn't give you anything, but coffee gives you energy.
It's been promoted by the very big high street brands. It's promoted again as a quick caffeine rush. You get that buzz from a cup of coffee, where from a cup of tea, it's relaxing. People expect you to sell coffee these days as well as tea. I mean, I prefer tea, but they do expect you to sell both.
Statistically, working people drink more coffee than the unemployed, but can your occupation affect how much coffee you drink?
I would probably only drink about 1 cup of coffee a day. Really boring, just flat white.
I probably drink about 6 or 7 cups, probably too much to be honest. I have one in the morning before I go to work, then drink in the morning afternoon at work, and then probably when I come home. I work as customer services manager, so on busy days they're more stressful, so when I'm more stressed out I drink more coffee. Definitely affects the amount of coffee I drink in a day. Favourite coffee is Kenco Smooth, not fussed on shop bought coffee like Costa or anything like that, just prefer homemade.
I tend not to, I don't really want it 3-4 times a day because I think it might lose the effects a little bit. So I'd say I probably go once a day, 5 times a week.
The opposite end of the spectrum probably, it's about 8.
If I'm drinking coffee at home, it's always in Nescafe usually. Then usually when I work, I'll nip out the office on my lunch and I'll just head to McDonald's.
Getting a coffee in a coffee shop is probably Cafe Nero, Nescafe or Kenco or Darweg, but so probably have a little bit more coffee because of the work, because it's also that social aspect of making drinks for other people.
I've always been kind of the same, so I wouldn't say my occupation does affect how much coffee I tend to drink.
I'd say I drink about between 2 or 3 cups a day, especially when it's like coursework season, because I'm a lot more tired and I usually have a cup just to kind of wake myself up. I do like mochas just because they're quite sweet and I prefer sweeter drinks.
Coffee lovers are willing to pay that little bit extra for a perfect cup of coffee. At around £430 a kilo, Kopi Luwak, the world's most expensive coffee, is the ultimate flavour experience.
Initially you think, but I actually went to the plantation that they made it, so you kind of see the whole process, and the mongoose that they use are all kind of ethically used. They're rotated and then released into the wild, so they're only used for a short period of time. They naturally in the wild were eating the coffee beans, and the teeth weren't strong enough to break through them, but their enzymes that go through the stomach was getting through obviously and making some difference. Well, I'm trying to do the currency rating from Balinese rupee, which is something like 36,000 or whatever rupees. I think it worked out at around about £15, £20 or something for a packet of it. But considering it's £250 a cup in Harrods, I think it's a bargain. Exactly the same as a normal filtered coffee, but it's a lot smoother. You've still got that depth of flavour. The smell, it's amazing. It's just that full aroma of the coffee beans, freshly ground.
For the die-hard coffee drinker, coffee can be bought everywhere. But what is it like working within such a competitive marketplace?
It can be hard competing with other coffee or cafes because people usually come in and tell us, they kind of compare us.
It's not hard competing with other cafes really, because we have our loyal regulars and there's plenty to go around really.
Probably about 200 cups on an average day we sell.
Coffee sold a day, we sell quite a lot of coffee up here. Oh, obviously it's quite weather dependent as well. You know, if it's really cold outside, people want a hot drink. But we also do fraps as well, so it's all time.
I like working in a coffee shop because, I don't know, it's just pretty cute, isn't it?
It's very hard work. I think some people don't realise how hard.
I really enjoy what I do, yeah. You get to know on a more one-to-one basis when you sort of kind of work by yourself and doing barista-style coffees.